We've got the all-new Mini Cooper S.
How do you modernize a Mini?
Hold on, Zach. Woo! Fun.
It's a lot of fun. Hey, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. If you're looking to make a beautiful new website, we'll show you how we're doing with our website in just a moment, so stick around for that. Right now, Andrea, what's under the hood of this thing?
The Mini gets more power for 2025. It's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, 201 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. This is a front-wheel drive model, and the manual transmission is gone for 2025.
The base model is called the Cooper C, and it gets a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, but with less power, 161 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Well, we're going to show you how they've modernized the new Mini. I keep looking at the big eye, Andrea, not at the lens. So I've got to move my eye up to the lens. So right now we're going to get into what do you get with this? What are the key standard features?
The Mini comes standard with a 9.4-inch OLED touchscreen, Mini operating system 9, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a head-up display, Mini hi-fi sound system, a heated steering wheel, leatherette and cloth seats, heated front seats, and a panoramic sunroof.
So we're in a Cooper S. So can we still put it in S if we're already in a Cooper S? A bit of a mind scramble.
You gotta put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes and to get a question in. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button.
Now, there is no actual S mode, but guess what there is? Go-kart.
Let's listen. It does a little Yahoo. We couldn't hear it with the engine there, but when you put it in go-kart, it goes Yahoo.
I know, I was taken aback. I put it in go-kart mode and I was like, whoa, this thing is fast and speedy, and you can hear the engine roar a little bit. It's very cool.
And it puts up this big graphic on the big eye that's looking at us. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. And that whole go-kart feel with a Mini Cooper is still here, Andrea. This is still one of the most engaging, fun to drive little cars for bombing around town that you could ask for.
So lively. The handling is so sharp. The dual clutch transmission, I think, is terrific. It's actually quite smooth, and it's quick shifting. Maneuverability is a breeze, of course. In the city, parallel parking, gosh, it's just a wonderful vehicle to drive.
And you know what? This vehicle indexes way above the industry average in the appeal to the people who own them. People that have Minis, love Minis, they really don't want anything else because you can't really replicate this in another brand. It's owned by BMW. Mini and BMW have long had a history of producing wonderful handling cars. So you've got all that baked into this.
And acceleration from a stoplight, which you saw us do off the top, is excellent. Passing power on the highway is very good. The cabin actually remains pretty quiet on the highway as well. I was surprised about that. I thought there would be maybe a little bit more wind noise. That's not the case. And the auto start stop is fairly smooth. At first, I wasn't so sure about it, but I've gotten used to it and I haven't had to turn it off. So that's a good thing.
But make sure if you're going to buy this car, you try it before you just say, I'll take one, because it is on all the time. It has a dual clutch transmission, which some people might not like, and the auto start stop you have to experience as well. But if you're in the fun to drive camp and you really want a lot of feedback, this gives you mega feedback.
Yeah, this is not a refined and smooth ride. And we have a question coming up in Questions, Coffee and Cars, comparing it to the GTI and some of the differences. So stick around for that.
So in a moment, we're going to turn our attention to the big screen here in the center. On the outside, though, thank goodness, Mini, you didn't make it weird. It's still proportionally correct. In fact, I think this looks better than the last generation. It still looks like a Mini, and it still has compact dimensions. I think the design on the outside is a home run.
And I think that's the key. Make it look like a Mini. People are buying Minis because they like the look of them. and modernize it, which is exactly what they did. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me while I've been, whether I'm going to, the grocery store or I was taking pictures of this. They love it. How do you love your Mini? I love this new design.
You know what's interesting, Andrea? I've been taking this car out too, and not one person has come up to me. They don't come up to me. Obviously, you're much more open and approachable.
Well, I have to say I was surprised because I said to Zach, oh my gosh, I can't believe how many people came up to me today. And then he went out and I said, did anybody come up to you? No.
No, maybe where I was.
The Mini comes standard with 17-inch wheels, available 18-inch wheels, which are crafted from recycled aluminum. The exterior color, which I think is gorgeous, is ocean wave green. The Mini still has its short overhangs, the signature round LED headlamps with 3 customizable graphics to choose from, a new grille, and the rear now offers a triangular light design, giving it a sleek look. You can get a black roof or a white roof depending on the trim, and it has a tire repair kit. Now this comes with more driver assist technology, including blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, which is good to see, and it has 12 ultrasonic sensors to assist the driver. It also is equipped with a suspension and damping system.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
We're building a new website and it's easy. It comes with all the tools you need. We're getting it set up and then ready to launch.
All we had to do was select a professionally curated template, then change the template to our images and files, building exactly what we need, especially for video.
If you have an e-commerce site, Squarespace supports the management of your invoices and clients.
And for payment, your new site can accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay, just to name a few.
Head to the link in the description below and click on the Motormouth link to get 10% off your first Squarespace purchase.
So we talked about it already. I call it the big eye, but it is one big circle in the middle of the dashboard, keeping it traditional looking way back to the retro Minis of old. Still some switchgear below that. Everything for the most part, except for the window and door controls, are done in the screen, and not to the best results.
No, this is a 9.4-inch OLED display. It has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but I find the system to be slow. It is the Mini operating system 9, but it is not very quick. And I also find when you change the experiences, kind of like the drive modes, it's also a little bit slow.
Okay, so one thing is everything is done in profiles. So you have to set up a Zach profile and then an Andrea profile. There is a guest mode, but if you don't go in and access that, then your mirrors, everything else are done in the screen. So the graphics are beautiful though. What do you think of the graphics?
Yeah.
The colors look really good. I think it looks really good.
Crisp and clear, and I'm really happy that Mini kept this screen. Mini did a great job with the interior, staying true to its roots and its heritage. Now this has a panoramic sunroof with 2 planes and a manual sunshade for both, so some good sun protection there.
Now we went through the key standard features. Here are the available features. Navigation with augmented reality, power front seats with driver's seat memory, a Harman Kardon sound system, wireless charger, driving assist plus stop and go, parking assist plus including surround view. Okay, we're at a stop sign, and because the roof is low and I'm tall, I can't see the stop. I can't see them. I have to go like that.
And for me, that's just not the case. I can see them perfectly, but definitely drive it and check it out and make sure that it works for you.
Benefits of not being 6 feet tall.
There's also a digital key plus function, and it has a welcome animation of the front and rear lights as soon as the driver is less than 10 feet away.
Yes, I actually did it. Here's me getting in the back seat. Once you're in, it's actually quite roomy. Not bad leg room, good headroom. How does it stack up?
The Mini offers 41.4 inches of front row legroom and 30.8 inches of rear seat legroom.
Lift up the trunk, it's not power operated, and you get a small cargo space under the floor. There is more space and also a tire repair kit.
The Mini Cooper has 8.9 cubic feet of space behind the second row, and overall space is 34.4 cubic feet.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Would like to see the electric version reviewed. I assume there is one slated to make its way to North America. Regardless, looking forward to this review. Thank you.
Well, the only one that is actually scheduled to arrive is the ugly Mini, the Countryman. I don't know. We went and picked this up and saw the regular Mini, or no, the Countryman.
Countryman.
It's the not so mini, and that one will be coming by the end of this calendar year.
You know, like we said at the beginning of this video, they really stayed true to the design of the Mini with this Mini Cooper. It's just modernized, but the Countryman is looking a little bit strange, a little bit too big for a Mini. So in regards to the EV version of this, they haven't decided when it will come to North America, but the rumors are it is coming. What do you think of the materials on the dash and doors? How does one keep it clean? They have cleaned up the dashboard and much less cluttered, but just not sure of the colors on the dash and doors.
Andrea, can I say again how much I love this?
I know.
I love cloth on the doors and the dash. This makes me happy. Instead of having cheap looking materials, it gives it texture and color. It's almost got like a Burberry houndstooth kind of thing going on there.
Well, you'll find when you sit in this that the textured fabric is not soft.
No.
It's actually quite firm, a little bit hard, and I think that it is going to stand the test of time. I can't tell you how impressed I am with this interior. I think it looks fabulous. It's kind of retro, it's modern, it's simplistic, it's cool.
I think what you do with this is, for the dash pad, you would just get a vacuum with the brush, it has the brush on it, and just vacuum it down. You're right, though. This, if you say had your arm on the window all the time, you'd probably have to get a detailer to clean it professionally, but I'm okay with that. I think it's real cool.
And I'm sure it's treated already.
Yes, of course it is, yeah.
So I like it. And this is a slightly darker gray. But yeah, I think right here, this is hard plastic, and that's a part that you would touch a lot. You just have to keep an eye on it. It certainly wouldn't keep me from buying it. How do you like this compared to your GTI, not factoring in the manual transmission?
Well, you can't go without that, Andrea. As you're reading it, I'm thinking I'm just going to do this. That's the difference maker. Why they have no manual is beyond me. It's all the Euro cap regulations they're trying to hit. They can't hit those emissions targets with a manual transmission, so they just don't sell it for the rest of the world. We don't have those regulations. I don't get it.
And for 2025, the GTI and the Golf R no longer have a manual transmission either, which is why we bought the 2024 model so we could get it. Many times we were driving this and both Zach and I said, oh, if it only had a manual. But hey, it's still a lot of fun anyway with the dual clutch transmission, but the GTI is more practical.
The cargo area is way bigger. The back seat is actually useful for loading things in and out of. It's just a bigger vehicle, and it's not as bumpy and on all the time. This one, you get that go-karty feel, but you can't get away from that. With the GTI, you have the adaptive suspension. You can have that, or you can switch it off and make it more palatable. In my opinion, it's just a more polished, luxury feeling almost car. Yeah,
and the GTI, when you get it on the highway, it is smoother. It is more refined, but I really like this. I think that it's engaging and it's lively, and there's a place for this in the market. And I believe that Mini fans like that about the Mini.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
How's the reliability on these? I heard bad things about them in the long run, but I love the look.
Well, Mini is scoring incredibly well from J.D. Power and Consumer Reports, but you got to put an asterisk next to this one because it's brand new and you've got this new infotainment system, and that might cause problems. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, in the recent J.D. Power dependability study for 2024, Mini is in 5th, just behind Lexus, Toyota, Buick, and Chevrolet. So those are great numbers for Mini.
Yeah, it's scored very, very highly over the last several years. But all of this is new, so just keep that in mind. All right, we're going to get into the vital stats, the fuel economy of this little car, and more.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the U.S. The Cooper C starts at just under $35,000, and the Cooper S is just under $40,000. In the U.S., the Cooper C is just under $29,000, and the Cooper S just over $32,000.
Here's the fuel economy for this Cooper S. 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers city, 6 on the highway. That's 28 miles per gallon city, 39 miles per gallon highway. The warranty is 4 years, 80,000 kilometers or 50,000 miles. Complimentary scheduled maintenance is covered for 3 years or 40,000 kilometers in Canada and 36,000 miles in the United States. So you want a performance-oriented hatchback. What else can you choose?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Volkswagen GTI with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 241 horsepower, and a starting price over $37,000.
Up next is the Toyota GR Corolla with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder with 300 horsepower and just under $50,000.
The Mazda 3 Sport with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 191 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $26,000.
The Honda Civic hatchback with a 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder, 180 horsepower, and a starting price of $36,000.
So there are 4 sporty hatchbacks for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I love the look of this.
I think it handles amazingly.
What I'd like is a software update so that the infotainment system is a bit quicker.
If I'm spending all this money, I know I sound like a whiner, but I want a power liftgate. I want it. So there it is. It's the Mini Cooper S. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.